Mic check 1 2 1 2. Yo, what is going on? This is Business Talks and Anime Walks. We are streaming live now
Yes,
over on
sir.
Twitch and YouTube. Business Talks and Anime Walks on both pages.
Yes, sir.
We are your host. I am Charles.
And I am Colin. What up, everybody? It's another beautiful day. Hope you've been chilling. And we're back on live.
Yeah, so today, as I mentioned yesterday, this is going to be the business talks portion that we're going to have. Yesterday was the anime walks. I know we kind of do a little backwards, but that's how we just want to come in. Today we're going to get into, some business things that's happening in the world, the good and the bad, and what we want to learn and everything like that. So since we're starting off and everything, me and my brother, we have dreams, aspirations, and everything to actually go into the real estate route.
Yep. Yeah.
So always looking for some knowledge, some game from anyone that's out there and everything. Again, we're just normal people streaming across this platform, shout out Evie Mux and everything. But so we're super interested in that, but we're also just students of the game and just business in general,
sure.
Credit hacks and everything like that. But one thing that's business related that I actually want to talk about was I don't know, you can tell me, is the government still shut down?
The government is still shut down officially, but I wanna personally say, and this is not being political, but I am in the Air Force National Guard, and being in the military, we're not getting paid. I mean, I need my paycheck, but Trump said, hey, he was gonna get his soldiers paid, and I ended up getting back paid. So shout out to him for that. It was much needed. I know a lot of soldiers out there needed that, and but the government is still shut down, guys. But hopefully it's not for long. If it lasts more than 39 days, then that'll be the longest shutdown, I think, in history.
Yeah. So I know with this shutdown, I got some news from my job that they wanted to, possibly put me in like this, this position and everything, but they can't do it right now because it's a new program, directly related with the Department of Education. And since the government shut down, we can't even get info or anything on this yet to get the process started. So that was just my little, my first thing that I, wanted to talk about. Business wise, that while my brother does have a joyous moment, that he was able to get paid, I'm missing out on an opportunity right now,
For sure.
But we're gonna hope everything that is going on within this world, resolves. It needs to be, in a good state of affairs, so, we can get things up and running and everything. But other than that, it's the same type program. We like to react to videos the same way we do to anime and everything. We like to just talk about topics and everything.
No, I do have one video about the government shutdown we can just show real quick, just so the people can get a glimpse on, what's happening in the real world. And just get some understanding of it, because we still don't know the whole thing of what a government shutdown is. So maybe this video will shed some light on that, guys. So 1 second here, I'll just bring it up real quick, and then we can just finish our conversation on that. And then so we're gonna share that.
All right.
All good?
Yes, we are. Turn it up.
It is up.
Oh, okay.
Shutdown enters day 15.
Can you hear that?
Yep. Turn it down a little, actually.
Lawmakers only dig.
Yeah.
That good?
Yeah, that's much better.
I bet. Here we go, guys.
As the government shutdown enters day 15, lawmakers only digging in.
The motion is not agreed to.
For the 8th time, Senate Democrats rejecting a Republican bill to end the shutdown, holding firm on their healthcare demands.
The Republicans continue to refuse to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, which is going to result in tens of millions of Americans experiencing dramatically increased premiums, co-pays, and deductibles.
But the White House and Republicans refusing to negotiate until after the government is reopened. President Trump now says he will reveal a list Friday of, quote, Democrat programs that he will shut down permanently.
We're not closing up Republican programs because we think they work. So we are closing up Democrat programs that we think that we disagree with, and they're never going to open again.
With federal workers going unpaid, President Trump welcoming his close political ally, Argentina's President Javier Milei, to the White House to announce a $20 billion bailout for his country.
Argentina is one of the most beautiful countries that I've ever seen, and we want to see it succeed. Very simple.
Democrats seizing on the move.
The overwhelming majority of Americans say we need help with our health care, and they're busy spending $20 billion because Trump seems to really like the leader of Argentina.
And the Department of Defense says they have now redirected about $8 billion to make sure that our military troops receive a paycheck today. There's still so many federal workers and contractors who are going without pay as the shutdown continues to drag on, Michael.
Yeah, it goes a little against that America First agenda there, Rachel. And Rachel, the president announced another deadly U.S. attack on a boat off the coast of Venezuela, and this is raising more questions.
Yes, Michael, this will certainly raise tensions in the region. The president announcing on social media that the United States carried out another deadly strike on an alleged drug boat off the coast of Venezuela. The president says that 6 people on board died. This is the 5th strike that the United States has now carried out, and we are getting reaction this morning from Venezuela, who is calling this a pure violation of international rights by the U.S., Michael.
All right, Rachel, thank you always for your great work.
I didn't know about that, but that was crazy.
Yeah, guys. So that's just a little, snippet of just more news. But I didn't know anything about that last part. That was a 6th strike too, apparently. But apparently it's for drug smugglers. So, they are. If what said is true, then they're keeping drugs out. But obviously taking some human life at the same time. So, But just getting back to the topic on hand, we're not, picking sides here, guys. You're not going to get that out of us, but we're completely apolitical on this stuff. But just some information on what's going on. Democrats want something, Republicans are doing another thing. They're not seeing eye to eye, and that's exactly why the government is shut down. And like the video mentioned, yes, military did get their pay, like Mr. President Trump promised. But there is other federal workers and contractors who are still not, which is not right at the same time, too. So that's just a little snippet on, just what's going on, with the government, at least on the most recent news. And there's a whole bunch more, right? We just found out about some boat that we didn't even know about. So there's a whole bunch more, government news, but we're not really trying to get into that sector of the conversation as of today, at least. Right, Charles?
Yeah. Again, we're very new and everything, so we're just starting off. We want to stay true to the self, but as we gain and grow and everything, we can always deviate and add things. But that that also takes a community as well. That also takes us building a community. So
But I would say just getting back to touch with business topics. We can have a quick business topic or discussion on just our aspirations before we get into maybe some local business news. Like Charles touched on, guys, we have aspirations to get into real estate ourselves. We understand that it's a slow grind and that it's going to be a process. So we're being steady, we're being patient, and we also are trying to fix the back end stuff that we have to work on. I know for me personally, that credit is a big thing in real estate, and that has to get fixed for me before I even move in that direction. And especially, and Charles, I believe it's the same for you, right?
Yeah.
And so we both have other things that have to take priority before we even get into the game of real estate, because with real estate, you need some decent credit, guys. That's just the truth. You can get into it maybe with bad credit, but you would have to take maybe hard money loans or cash deals, and we're not trying to do that, especially when we're novice. We want to go into it with the way that a lot of, big time real estate moguls and business owners, whatever, say, which is the more typical routes. But yeah, that's our aspiration. We also have other aspirations, guys. But that one, as you can see, this one is another one, right? Which is content creation, right? We're Business Talks Anime Walk for a reason, because this is a business idea that we have, and we want to spread, and we want you guys to be a part of, right? We want to, like Charles said already, have like-minded people who love anime, but also trying to stand on business and be about their business, right? Right,
Yep.
Charles?
Yes, it is. Just again, guys, at the end of the day, we're just trying to bring this community together, business, anime, all things alike.
Facts.
It takes a village. It takes a village. Shout out to the one viewer. We see you.
What up? What up? What up? Say your name in the chat. Let us know who you are in the chat, bro. This is Business Talks Anime Walks. Do you like business? Do you like anime? Let us know.
Yeah, today's the business portion. So
And I guess yeah, 1 second. I'm trying to get something that's maybe more visual.
yeah.
Okay. I have something else, Charles, if you could put it on screen.
Related was founded in New York.
Actually, I'm gonna do that.
New York City. This is our home. We care deeply about the city. We are very active.
Well, we're not going to watch all this, but just watch a snippet.
Mm-hmm.
You got it up? I bet. So, yeah, guys, as you can see, it says stocks bounce back as Trump softens trade. China trade stance, Trump in Israel. This was reported 10/13, which was literally 2 days ago. This is another topic that we can definitely get into. If you are somebody who's into stocks, let us know, because we are into stocks. We like stocks, right? And we invest in stocks. I have my own, a retirement fund. I know Charles does. I have my own individual stock portfolio as well. And that's something that we are interested in. If you're somebody who's knowledgeable in it, definitely hit us up. If you're somebody who's a novice in it, even just like us, right? To where we're not the newest to it, but we're still not the dogs, right? The top dogs. If you're somewhere in between that, wherever you are, definitely let us know and put that in the chat, bro. We're trying to hear y'all. All right, but let's watch a couple minutes of this video. This video is 48 minutes long. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but just hear a couple of points that they have to make.
It's 5 a.m. in New York
Guys, let me know if you guys can hear it properly. Drop it in the chat.
City. Good morning, I'm Bonnie Quinn with your Bloomberg Brief. Here's what you need to know. Stock futures show a bounce back after the S&P 500 suffered its biggest decline since April Friday. This as the White House tempers trade threats against China. And President Trump is in Israel as Hamas releases the 20 remaining living war hostages. The president about to address the Knesset with those hostages now on Israeli soil.
So, guys, just right there, we already learned a couple things. The stock has had its biggest drop since April, and, that might be showing in your portfolio. I know when I checked especially my Roth IRA, because I frequently check that, but I checked it when I heard news earlier. It was definitely on a decline, just with the news, the tariffs and the trade wars that's going on right now. It's definitely having an impact. It's having an impact on you. Dropping in the chat. Charles, have you heard anything about stock market getting hit and whatnot?
No, I have not actually. That's one thing I do need to go back and, just look up on my portfolio as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Definitely, at least check it on a frequent basis. Make sure that's, stay downloaded. But I know you're a big 401k guy, right?
Yeah,
with your job at least. So, that's still investing in the market, right?
Yeah.
401k is investing in the market. It's just taking a different route than maybe more aggressive people, basically.
Right.
So, yeah, let's keep it going now.
And we'll bring that speech to you, but first let's take a look at where markets are standing this Monday morning after that volatility pothole, as Amy Silverman would call it, Friday. We have a big bounce back on our hands, assuming that continues throughout the session. Let's take a look at some other asset classes. Obviously, the bond market is closed.
So as you can see, guys, we got the S&P. That's 0.39 up. Okay, that's not that bad. And then same with the NASDAQ 100, which is, I think that the NASDAQ is for technology sector, guys. Let me know if I'm right or wrong in the chat. Like I said, guys, we're not the best at this, but I believe that it's for technology sector. And then the Russell 2000s. So 2 days ago, it looks like that has been doing pretty good. But apparently that it's doing pretty good, but it's at a bad level compared to what it's usually. Does that make sense, Rose?
Yeah.
Because they said that it's been down, but it looks like it's starting.
Up.
Yeah, trending up. Yeah.
Today for the holiday, but we dropped 10 basis points across the yield curve on Friday. We started with the 10-year at 4.13. We closed the session with the 10-year at 4.03. We also had a huge round trip for the likes of Bitcoin, and we're seeing gold today back above $4,000 an ounce. Silver also potentially a short squeeze in London. That's up 85% this year. Obviously, a lot going on. Bill Blaine says, get your hard hats out, because this may not be the first time we see market action like this.
Going up dramatically
between now and the end of the year. But maybe earnings will save us. We start with the banks.
What do you say?
So that's good, though.
Yeah, like a lot of people have been saying, like, yo, invest in gold. Like I've been hearing that a lot.
Tomorrow. Let's get to some individual stock movers now. We'll go across to London and Valerie Titel. Valerie.
Good morning, Ivani. Let's start with a check on these rare earth miners. The American listed miners are doing very well in pre-market trade. USA Rare Earths up over 20%. Same for critical metals, and MP Materials not far behind, up over 10%. Now, this can be one of two things, Vani. Either the market is
guys, if you know anything about rare earth materials, critical metals, and MP Materials, drop it in the chat. Let us know. I don't know much about it. I've only heard Trump say that he wanted like rare earth from Ukraine for the peace deal and whatnot. That's the only time I really heard about it. But if you know some, drop it in the chat. Let the Coop brothers know.
Assuming that China is not going to pull back any of its export restrictions on rare earths, or perhaps the market is just thinking that now that China has raised the stakes, that perhaps the U.S. government would act more quickly and more decisively on taking equity stakes in these miners. Let's also add tech stocks to what's rebounding today. NVIDIA leading the gains in the Mag 7 so far this morning, up 3.7% as investors look to buy the dip in tech stocks this morning. NVIDIA was down near 5% on Friday, so we are racing a lot of Friday's decline with this pre-market move so far. Lastly, let's end on StubHub. This is the ticket resale platform that went public back in September. It's been initiated by a number of Wall Street banks, Goldman, JP Morgan, Evercore, even BMO, all initiating coverage of this stock this morning, all of them.
And it looks like it's a great time to invest in StubHub if it skyrockets. Only $19. That's not bad at all for one share in the company. That's actually really good. But you're taking a bet essentially. Let's say you put $100 in, right? That's $100 of your money. And if it doesn't excel as much as people might think, that might be a waste of 100, or it could 500 times your money, right? So everything is a risk that you have to take, guys, and you have to ask, is it worth it? Let's keep it going, though.
Are bullish. The stock is up near 4%, up 3.7% so far in trade. Analysts are quite bullish on the prospects of them entering the primary ticket sale market. Bonnie?
Valerie, thank you so much. Valerie Titel there. And later in the hour, Jordan Rochester of Mizuho Bank will be joining us.
Yeah, we will not be seeing that.
Hamas has freed all remaining living Israeli hostages being held in the Gaza Strip. President Trump is scheduled to address Israel's Knesset in just moments. Let's go live now to Bloomberg's Oliver Cook in Jerusalem, overlooking the old town.
Actually, guys, we're not going to really watch that because we don't want to get into that kind of sector of like quote unquote business, just because that's more like a little bit too political for the topics that we want to touch on today. Like I said, we want to touch on like stocks and rare metals, real estate, things like that, like business ideas. And yeah, politics do have a play in how it affects the business market, but we don't want to have that conversation today specifically. Like we can look at it, we can touch on it, but we're not going to stay on that, if that makes sense. You feel me, Charles?
Yeah. I'm just trying to find, some things that might be interested. This.
Guys, if you have anything, drop it in the chat. I'm trying to actually bring somebody on, and so we can talk about it.
Who you trying to bring on?
Anybody, man. We try to have regular conversation with regular people.
Yeah, that is true. I think I have something that I want to look at. This dude, everything money. Because they say if you want to make money, you got to start, hanging around people.
For sure.
Money, right? So, let me go see if I can share this. So let me share my screen. Let's move.
We can always check out Myron Golden too. He's a GOAT in the business sector. Always positive.
Oh yeah. This video right here, once in a lifetime. I want to see it. Let's see. First, let's check out this profile.
What is up, everyone? This is
1,000 followers.
Sheesh.
Everything money. Let's hear it.
I'm Sora 2, the new AI in town.
We're not afraid. If you think the stock market is just a place where stock prices go up and down, you are playing the wrong game. Until you understand what you're actually buying, which is a piece of a business, you're not investing, you're guessing. We're here to fix that. This is how millionaires are made, by understanding what the market really is and using that to your advantage. Guys, in this video, I'm gonna show you how the greatest investors ever really think. Now, what's great about it is you need to repeat these things over and over. I've been investing for 30 years, and I still repeat these things every single time I buy something, whether it's a stock, whether it's a piece of real estate, or whether I'm investing in one of my businesses. The best investors don't chase hype, they chase value. Our goal is to buy when price is below value. That is the ultimate goal of every investor, just like your goal when you go to the store is to get a good deal on whatever you're buying. No different here. By the end of this video, this will be either the first time you've heard it or a reiteration of something you need to have going on in your head constantly. Now listen, like I said earlier, when you buy a stock, you're not buying some magic lottery ticket that goes up and down, might shoot to the moon, any of those things. You're buying part of a real business. What that means is when you click the buy button, you become part owner. In fact, there was an ongoing joke on LinkedIn where somebody on LinkedIn literally sarcastically put partner in every company they own stock in as a joke. The funny part is, it's not a joke. He owned Tesla stock, so he said partner in Tesla 2017 to today. It's funny because it got a lot of attention, but it's absolutely true. You are the part owner of that business. But I get it. People sit there and say, yeah, but I can't go to the company's bank account and take my share out. No, you can't. But that bank account, you still have an ownership piece in. And someday, when they put that money and put it into the dividends of the investors, you get that piece. When they take that money to go invest it in another factory, another expansion of the company, you get a piece of that growth. But what most people do is this. They stare at the price jumping up and around on the screen. They freak out. Oh my God, it went down 2%. Oh my God, it went down 20%. I'm ruined. Relax. Businesses don't suddenly get terrible overnight just because the stock price dipped. Value investing is about asking a very simple question. What is this business actually worth? And once you've determined that, you have to ask the question, can I buy it for less than that? It's no different than shopping, like I said earlier. No different than buying a car. Now, the difference is, with the stock market, you can't go to Microsoft and say, can I buy your stock cheaper? But better yet, the emotional market can act crazy and give you that cheap price immediately. Cheap doesn't necessarily mean good, and good doesn't mean you should overpay. The key is to find when good is priced cheap. That's what we want. Don't treat stocks like scratch-off tickets. Treat them like your neighbor walked over and said, can you buy a piece of my business? If you'd never want to own the whole business, why would you even want a piece of it? If you couldn't understand what you're buying, why are you wasting your time? Because in the end, we are not here to gamble. We're here to build wealth. When I hear people say the stock market's a gamble, what I hear is somebody saying, I don't understand what's going on in the stock market. Guys, no one on YouTube talks about this. Yeah, a few channels here and there brush up on the numbers, but they don't talk about the emotion of it. That's what's important here. That's why you're so fortunate to have
You're muted.
Sorry about that. I know I haven't been speaking much, but he's actually been like just drawing me into, what he's been saying. I might follow after this.
No, it's because he's just speaking. He's just speaking real. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not speaking BS. Like he's actually trying to slow it down to where it's like digestible.
Right.
And this is just useful
no matter where you
information
are in your investing journey, whether you're brand new,
sometimes you have to go
advanced,
back to the basics, even though you've heard the basics.
Right.
I will tell you that there's a reason why I listen to these things all the time. I'm not new to investing, but I want to repeat these mantras to myself so it establishes and repeats over and over what I'm doing. And the thing about stock prices are, they're not grocery store prices. At the store, a gallon of milk costs $3.99. Take it or leave it. Nobody's yelling $4. Who's got $4.10, $4.20 an ounce? Although I will say this, there's a great bar I've heard about where the price of the drinks go up and down based on demand. The more one drink is bought, the price goes up. That is the stock market. At the end of the day,
we have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without
That's
knowing
true.
how to code.
People don't want the stock.
An auction
stock
does
goes
not
down.
work very well
Right.
because it's
People
about
don't
getting
see
a
the
lot of
value in it.
people together to act emotionally. And that's what happens in the stock market. One person's panic, one person's greed, one just had too much coffee, and the price jumps up all over the place. Guys, we've all seen it. A company will report something bad or have some bad news, and the price jumps or falls 20%. Why? Not because the business is suddenly 20% better. We're sitting on NVIDIA right now, which is one of the most valuable companies in the world and leading the charge. In the last year, NVIDIA's stock price has gone from 150 to 86 and back up to 180 or 190 in less than 1 year. This is a multi-trillion-dollar business. And guess what? Their revenue hasn't gone down 50% and doubled. It just keeps going up. Its profit just keeps going up. So if you believe that 150 is right and 86 is right, all within a 6-month period, you're not understanding the market. But I'm sure what you're hearing right now is, oh, that kind of makes sense. And it does. And here's where most people mess this up. They think that the auction price equals the business's actual value. Wrong. They're not assessing the business's value. Let's say you have your house and it's worth $400,000. And tomorrow somebody offered you $500,000 for it. The next day, $300,000. The next day, $450,000. The next day, $350,000. Did your house's value really change that much that quickly? Of course not. The auction just got crazy. Now you might sit there and say, well, Paul, house prices don't change that much. You're right. You know why? Because we don't have that ticker above our houses every single day saying how much it's worth. If we did, then guess what? The price would probably change a lot more often. But this is exactly why value investing works. Our job isn't to change the noise in the auction. Our job is to take a step back, look at the business, figure out what is this business really worth? And then, can I buy it at a discount while everyone else is yelling like maniacs? While everyone else is screaming and crying and selling? Don't treat stocks like that grocery store item list with fixed prices. Treat them like auction items, where the price can be completely irrational, but the underlying value is steady. If you focus on that difference of price versus value, you're going to stop being the panic bidder and start being the disciplined buyer. Now, guys, I tell the story all the time. Back in the late 90s, 2000, even though I was more of a value buyer than the people back then, I still wasn't truly there yet. I still bought crazy companies thinking, well, somebody I know who's really smart said this. And guess what? It didn't work out very well. And the other hard part about value investing is people think you're wrong pretty much all the time, because when stocks are irrational, you're wrong for not buying them. When stocks are plummeting and stupidly priced on the low side, you're dumb for buying them. That's the hard part. And if you watch this channel enough, you'll see enough of that. But at the end of the day, I think from a 20, 30-year outlook. Now, do I think it's going to take 20 or 30 years for companies to do well? No. But I think to myself, if this company's around for 20 or 30 years, will they make a lot more money in 20, 30 years from now than they do today? If the answer is yes, it's very simple. Can I pay a reasonable price for that value today? Everyone talks about the smart money on Wall Street. They're not the smart money. Those guys think in terms of weeks, months, and quarters. Value investors think in terms of multiple years and even decades. That Wall Street so-called smart money is obsessed with the short run. They claim they're not, and every single person in the world says they're a long-term investor, but yet they get in and out of stocks like crazy. Did earnings beat this quarter? Did the CEO say the right buzzwords in the call? They trade stocks like kids trade Pokemon cards and baseball cards. But with value investors, we don't think in terms of quarters. In fact, on our other channel we do, called Everything Money Plus, we do quarterly results, but you know what we always say? We don't care what happens in the quarter. I need people being irrational so that I can make more money. Because if I think in terms of decades, there will be times when I'm able to buy amazing companies. Guys, the 7 magnificent companies today, the Mag 7, I assure you, at some point in the next 10 or 15 years, those companies will be written off as dead companies. No company stays the star forever. Those companies will be written off as dead companies. No company stays the 10 or 15 years.
Guys, just for your knowledge as well, so you can slow down and see the top performances, right? Historically, these are Google, basically Alphabet, which is Google, Amazon, Apple, Meta, which is Facebook. For those who don't know, the parent company, Meta Platforms, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla. I feel like anybody and everybody should know these, but if you don't, now you do. Great companies to invest in that have the historical performance to say, hey, putting your money here is easy peasy. You don't have to worry about it. It's gonna be here, and hopefully in 10, 15, 20 years, it'll grow because these companies will hopefully be around.
Those companies will be written off as dead companies. No company stays the star forever. Business takes a long time to play out. Coca-Cola doesn't live and die by one quarter. Microsoft didn't become a multi-trillion-dollar company because of what happened between April and June of 2005. What happened then, by the way? Do you remember? Neither do I. That's the point. But I guarantee you, between April and June of 2005, something bad happened at Microsoft. In fact, the story I always tell is the tech CEO in 2011 and 12 telling me Microsoft was a dead company. And I said, but wait, their revenue goes up 7-8% a year. Their profit goes up 10-11% a year. How is it dead? Paul, you don't get it. It's tech. They're dead. Oh, okay. I guarantee that person right now would deny he ever said that and would now say Microsoft's one of the best businesses of all time. Great businesses don't care about the stock price. They care about the fundamentals. They care about making their business better, growing revenue, growing cash flow, growing profit, making their balance sheet better. In the long run, that's what will pay off. Because in the short run, stocks are a voting machine. In the long run, they're a weighing machine. The so-called smart money says, what's the stock going to do next quarter? A value investor says, what's this company going to be worth 10 and 20, 30 years from now if it keeps growing its cash flow? That's what matters. And here's the secret. Because most people are focused on the next 3 months, they panic when the stock dips. They panic when it's not sprouting exactly like it's supposed to. And that's when disciplined, patient investors scoop up shares on sale. Let time do the lifting. Let time compound. So I want you to ask yourself a very simple question. Do you want to chase quarter-to-quarter results? Or do you want to own for decades? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm assuring you that you're probably saying decades. And if you're saying that, great. It's a great start. But saying it and doing it are very different things. And that's exactly why I created this channel. I used to think it was about, Paul, you got to teach people the numbers. And as time went on, being in a channel like this, it's grown so much. You see all the emotions play out. How many stocks I have bought that have now rebounded that people said you're so dumb.
It's up to you. It's your video.
Not about the numbers.
No, but the numbers you know what it is. Let's stop right there because I think this is an interesting video, or let me just say per se YouTube channel where we can always come back to everything money. I'm definitely going to, you know what? Let me be a man of my word. Subscribe right there. We can always come back to this. You have anything while I have my screen up?
No. I mean, guys, I'll talk about a little bit, guys. So basically what he's saying is look for the value within the company, look for the value and look where your money's going to grow. Because if you are thinking decades, which you should be, right? You shouldn't be thinking of just short-term gains unless you want to go into that kind of field, which would be like trading. And if that is your thing, then that's your thing. You feel me? And if you are a trader right now, then you are a trader, which is cool. But to build wealth, like for a long standing of time, is to go with value investing, to go for the big companies, that are like almost like a safety net, but then go for companies who you think will grow in value that you see and that you don't mind putting some money towards, with there being the risk, obviously. So I thought this guy was being very educational in that video. There's a lot of things that you can learn from him. And I think I'll go check him out later too, Charles, for real.
Yeah, he was definitely good.
But moving forward from that, guys, And if I had to say anything else about like business, to be honest with you, it would also be about networking, because I think that's something that we both have to do, Charles. We've been thinking about and talking about networking and expanding on networking, getting around like-minded people, physically, not just on Business Talks Anime Walks like platform, but physically, like going to some event or whatnot, and just getting around these people. But that can start digitally too, whether that be like LinkedIn guys. You can update your LinkedIn, you can connect to people and follow them, look at local events, because there's always local events somewhere, and you might have to travel a little bit. You might have to go like a half an hour somewhere, right? Or maybe an hour, but who knows the ROI, which is return on investment, from that meeting, right? You never know. You might meet that one person. You might have to drive an hour and you might be pissed, but you might meet that one person who might change your whole life. You might meet that one person who will fix your whole credit, give you the best advice. You might meet that one person that will give you that one real estate idea and will put you on and will guide you to just change the trajectory of your life. So guys, don't be lazy on networking. Charles, I know that's something that we got to get better, as we have to be men of our word too. We can't just be preaching it and not living that too. So that's definitely something that I wanted to definitely talk on. If you could touch on, just networking yourself, because, being a doctor yourself, you've had to network, whether that be, graduating, getting around like-minded people to help you finish that. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you could touch on networking as well.
Yeah, networking, just not in that aspect of it. In any field is, just important. I don't think I would have gotten anywhere in my life if I haven't really networked, properly.
Facts.
Each network is, going to bring like a different, situation and everything, from my way going, to college, to even navigating how I went to, get my master's, and then even getting my doctorate. My doctorate, when I was networking, I was making connections and everything. Ended up getting, a job down here and everything. And my networking is still continuing at my current job and everything, which, I'm hopefully is leading me to the right connection. So
you have a big connection that you made too. You have a big connection that you made.
Yeah. So it's always, just, playing it by ear, being smart, God's timing, I'm always going to say. So I'm happy that I, got this connection. I'm hoping to soak some game in, see how, some things can be done, possibly gain a mentor out of this, so, I want to play my cards right. I don't want to, spill it out there for the people, but just know this is a result of connecting, it's a result of actually, working at the spot that I'm at, that I'm hoping that, this connection could teach me some things. Well, I could talk about what it's teaching me about, hopefully in the real estate game. Yeah. Because we've reached out to people and everything, and it's always like they want to sell you your product.
Yeah.
And not actually want to be like, okay, I want to see you succeed. Mm-hmm. So let me teach you the game how I know it.
Yeah. Like a
and then you take from this. Yeah. And then you take from this what you want, and then, you go do it, see what it works from you, try and be a bridge builder, pass one along and everything. So that's how I feel about connections and networking.
Now with that connection, Charles, because this is actually a question I had, like, when was the last time you actually had like a sit down with this individual and, had that type of conversation? Not saying that you're trying to push forward with that agenda right now, but when was the last time you even had that conversation with the person that you connected with? Because I don't have anybody right now in my job. I don't have not right now. I don't have anybody in my job space that I can go to, especially for real estate, and have that kind of conversation. So the fact that you can is just awesome.
Well, it's actually been a while, so I want to say it's probably been since either mid-August or the beginning of September. Okay. And that's the reason, we work together, but his position, and everything is much, much, much higher where I'm at. So, he's a lot busier and everything.
For sure.
So,
well, it's not that long ago then.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. You know, I have his number and everything like that. But you know, people have lives and everything. But
for sure,
I do. But we have talked about it. I do see him every day, so you know, I'll try to like plug that in his ear and everything. So you know, once I can get make some time with them, I'm definitely going to move forward with trying to get more serious talks and everything. But the greatest thing is to have the connection, stay in someone's ear, and just constantly just show face.
Yeah, facts.
And show the fact that you're willing to learn. So
yeah, that's facts. And it's crazy, man. Like I really can't wait for our situation to be on time. Like I'm excited. Like whether we have a mission to do before that objective, I'm still just as excited as when we had the first discussion, Charles. I'll be very honest with you. Like I'm hyped. I'm hyped to get it started no matter what obstacle is presenting currently. I'm just like is just getting through it just to get that first start, so definitely wanted to talk on, connecting a little bit just because I've been on LinkedIn, refreshing my LinkedIn, making it pretty because I know employers and, people that are business owners are on LinkedIn, and you never know because I get views on my LinkedIn all the time. I'm saying like I have 17 new views today and I haven't been on all week. Right. And I log on and it says, 17 viewers today. You never know who's looking. You never know who's looking at your LinkedIn. You really don't, and I've had random job offers that I haven't picked up, but it's still opportunities that I probably wouldn't have had if I didn't have LinkedIn, so definitely wanted to touch on that a little bit too. I would say if anything else, we talked a lot about stocks, which is great. I'd like to actually go to Mr. Golden.
Myron.
Yes, the man himself. Actually, I'm gonna let this ad go, and then I will share my screen.
All right.
All right, here we go. Guys, we appreciate you. Pop it in and out. Definitely say what's up to us whenever you get that chance. Could you add that to the screen, Charles?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to start this. This is Myron Golden. He's a multimillionaire. He's a multimillionaire guy and very, very smart man, very educated. And he's been through the baddest, been through the toughest of any kind of business endeavors. And he's made it to the other end of being, successful, at least financially. And with all the sectors of his life that he's happy about. So guys, definitely tune in and just listen and give us your thoughts on what he has to say. But without further ado, I'm gonna start this.
I discovered that I have been an unintentional hypocrite. What? An unintentional hypocrite? Well, if you're a hypocrite, does it matter if it's unintentional or not? Okay. And I had this breakthrough last week that I had no idea I needed. In fact, I knew I didn't need it, But I had this breakthrough that was so mind-blowing, it caused me to question so many things that I thought I knew about myself. And I was like, is that really me? I mean, is that really me? I thought I was past this like a long time ago. I thought I left that several states ago, right? Like when you're traveling across the country. Well, anyway, in this video today, I'm going to tell you why you stay stuck. I didn't know I was stuck, but I was stuck. Like in most aspects of my life, I am very unstuck. I have been like if you would have asked me last Thursday.
This is a multimillionaire
morning,
saying he's
Myron,
stuck.
in what area of your life?
So this is how you know that
I
you
wouldn't
always
have
have
been
to
able
have
to
that
think of a
open mindset
Not
and
one
just a
thing I could
mindset
have
to
thought
where
of
you can just
an area of
constantly
my life in
improve.
which I'm stuck.
That's
And
what
I
that's
found
telling me.
An area of my life in which I was stuck Friday morning at, I don't know. No, it wasn't. It was actually, if you'd asked me Wednesday, it was Thursday. It was Thursday morning at like 3:30 in the morning when I woke up with indigestion, couldn't go back to sleep. And then I'm laying on my biohacking table and I'm doing biohacking and I'm watching videos, Instagram reels of this golf fitness performance coach. And I'm watching, and I probably watched, and I know y'all are going to think this is obsessive, so pray for me or judge me, whichever the case may be. I probably watched 50 or 60 of this guy's videos. And he told a story about how he used to hit the ball 330, but now he hits it 370. I'm like, as if 330 is not long enough, right? And so I went to message him, and I realized that I messaged him before. I followed him and he thanked me for it, and then I asked him where he was from, and then I never looked at it again, but Rebecca on our team kept communicating with him back and forth. And so I said, hey, sorry, I just saw these messages between you and Rebecca. This is actually Myron, blah, 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 and I asked him a question. So it turned out that we jumped on a call, on a call. I went to the driving range. Now I'm realizing I don't even remember what day it was. Okay, but I went to the driving range, and I was hitting golf balls, and he was watching me on a video call. And while I'm talking to this guy, I had this aha that like floored me. And I realized why I'm so internally, unconsciously resistant to working out. Okay, now, I work out. I'm in moderately decent shape, but I realized why I'm not in the shape that I intended to be in by now 7 months ago. Not even close. And I realized, oh, the reason I'm stuck at this plateau is because I used to be strong. I know that sounds crazy. And so, like, there was a time in my life I was very strong. When I was in 10th grade, I weighed 135 pounds. I could bench press 288 pounds. I was strong. For most of my 20s and 30s, I could drop down and do 100 push-ups without even thinking about it or without losing my breath. And now if I did 60, I'd be like, right? So it's a very different experience. And so I remember when I used to be strong, and I've gotten progressively weaker. So my strength has digressed over time. And so here's what occurred to me. The reason I've not gone all in on my fitness intentionally is because subconsciously I felt like it's not going to do any good anyway. Well, because I'm 64. And they say, well, when you get older, you get weaker, blah, blah, blah. That's not necessarily true. And I didn't believe it consciously. I didn't believe that consciously, but subconsciously, there was something in me that was holding me back from going all in. Because I used to hit the golf ball farther than I hit it now. So why don't I hit it farther now? I used to hit it farther and straighter than I hit it now. Why? Because I haven't set the same level of intention in that aspect of my life. And that may seem totally unimportant to you. Now, for me, it was an area in my life I'm stuck in my fitness. But for you, I'm talking about stuck in your fitness. I'm talking
Trying
about
to see
stuck
how
in
he
your
reels it all
a
back
job that
in.
you hate. I'm talking about stuck. So I really started hyper focusing on like why people stay stuck, why people stay stuck, why people stay. And I thought about this all weekend. Like this is the thing that infiltrated my brain for the entire weekend. Why do people stay stuck in relationships that are not working? Why do people stay stuck at a weight that they're not happy with, or at a fitness level that they're not happy? Why do people stay stuck in a financial level, or at a job that they hate? Why do people stay stuck? And so I started thinking, okay, and I wrote down every
You just touched on a couple
thing
points
I
for
could
me.
think of. And if you are stuck, I promise you, at least I believe, there's not another video that you'll ever watch on YouTube or television or anywhere else that will show you specifically the things you have to do to get unstuck. And they're different for different people because there's a bunch of reasons why people, I'm not talking about why you get stuck. I'm talking about why people stay stuck. I'm talking about stay stuck for months and weeks and years and decades stuck at the same place when God commanded us and created us to be progressively productive, which means today's supposed to be better than yesterday. This week's supposed to be better than last week. This month's supposed to be better than last month. We're supposed to grow as human beings. Okay, so this is why I'm stuck. So if you're saying it, say it in the first person. So this is why I'm stuck. Seven breakthrough moves to get you unstuck. There's only 7. Are y'all ready for 7? Everybody say 7. Okay, here we go. Number 1, the lessons you haven't learned yet. Some people are stuck because they don't know what to do to get unstuck. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to go to my board. Here's the thing. In order to learn the lessons you haven't learned yet, you have to be interested. So how do I solve this one? The lessons but I haven't learned yet.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base
Quick ad
44.
break, everybody. We're not going to watch the whole thing, everybody. We're just going to take a quick
you have to have
snippet.
some- you have to
Probably
be
going to be
interested
done in the
in
next
trying to
few
solve it.
minutes.
Time, curiosity,
You're on mute, bro.
and intention.
Oh, what I was saying is once the community builds, we
start
can
with
push
time.
this
So,
longer and longer.
first of all,
So
you have to give yourself
make
time.
sure y'all
Whatever
start
transformation you're
following
gonna have,
these
you're not gonna have to
pages,
do
those
it.
that are on Facebook, those that
See,
are on
intensity is
Twitch.
Yep.
But if
And
I
if you
start
like the
subscribing.
content,
And
and if you like the
consistency, I choose
content, let us
consistency.
know. You know,
Now,
because
if
we
you can
don't
have
know what you guys like
consistent
for us to put in
intensity,
front of you and what you don't. There's a bunch of stuff that
right?
we can
And then
we
give
can
yourself some
you know
time.
show. But you gotta let us know too. Like, hey, talk about this, talk about that.
It's
so we can
inevitable.
provide it.
And so it's so interesting when I think about the formula be, do, have, and the platform of time, space, and matter. So if you got the platform of time, space, and matter, and you have the parameters of be, do, and have. In fact, I'm going to write it on here because I know some people are watching this video for the first time. So if you look at the platform is time, space, and matter, right? And then that's the platform. In fact, I'll write platform right there so y'all get it.
This man got like chicken
But the
scratch.
parameters are be,
Right.
do, have. Okay? Those are the parameters. So how God set it up from the very beginning is the purpose of the platform of time is being. Time exists to give us time to become the person. Anything that you are going to learn to do so you can become a different person that you're not right now, it's going to take time. So give yourself ample time.
Right.
Does that make sense, everybody? Are y'all with me? Okay. So then, if you're going to do something, you need a space for it. You need space. If you're going to do something, it requires space. And then, so the purpose of time the purpose of time is being, the purpose of space is doing, the purpose of matter is having. Now, I was sharing this with the mastermind I talked to yesterday. See, your desire to have, this is where we focus most of our time, effort, and energy. I'd like to have this result. I'd like to have result, right? I'd like to have this result. And so we hyper-focus on the result. But what we don't realize is, like many of the things that we desire, the good things that we desire to have in our lives, the desire itself is a gift from God. Did I say that too fast? The good things that we desire to have, the desire itself is a gift from God. And a lot of people think, oh, my desire to have is because the only reason I desire to have is because I'm discontent. No. I mean, discontentment can cause people, but you can be fully content and still desire to have something nicer. You can be fully content and still desire to have a life that's better. Like, I'm fully content. But I'm not going to just go lay down. I'm not going to stop working just because I can. I like the work I do. I like what the work I do does for other people, and I'm going to be fully transparent. I like what the work that I do does for me, financially and otherwise. So your desire to have is a gift from God, but God set it up in such a way that in order for you to have, you must do. You've got to take the action. In order to get the result, you have to take the action, right? And so, when I first taught this, my wife said, "Well, Myron, what's the difference between this, what you just taught about? There's nothing wrong with desiring to have a nice car, a nice house, and a bank account full of money, and health in your body, and a good relationship with it. What's the difference between that and covetousness? Covetousness is a desire to have without the willingness to do the right thing in order to have it. That's what covetousness is. Covetousness is not a desire to have. Covetousness is your desire to have something you have the right to.
Basically, by all means,
do the right thing in order to have it.
That's how I was kind of looking.
Does that
at it
make
too.
sense? So you want some money, but you don't want to work for it, right? You want to have sex, but you don't want to be married to the person. Are y'all tracking? So that's what God said. Okay, but we are already doing 100% of everything we can do who we are right now. You're already doing 100% of everything you can do. In order for you to do more than you're doing, you have to become more than you've been being. And so God said, the seed is becoming. So this is the seed. This is where it all begins. The seed is the becoming. You become the person, and then you'll be able to do the stuff, and then you'll have the result. Okay, so I was not aware, I was not consciously aware of my subconscious resistance to an activity that would produce a result that I desired. Are y'all tracking? And when I became aware of it, because as a general rule, and I've stated this clearly erroneously, as a general rule, I don't give energy to outcomes I don't desire. I only give energy to outcomes I desire. And I realized I was giving this thought energy of this is not going to work, so why would I work on it? Energy to working out for the specific purpose, in my case, of being able to hit the golf ball farther. I'm just being transparent, y'all. Y'all say that's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Because if I was missing that, it made me question what else am I missing. Are y'all tracking? Okay, so the lessons you haven't learned yet. So give yourself some time, increase your curiosity, and then set an intention. And then start taking steps and measuring the progress. So that's the first one. The reason you stay stuck, number one, is because lessons you haven't learned yet. But wait, there are 6 more. Can y'all handle the next one? Oops. The work. That's right, man. The work you've been avoiding. The work you've been avoiding. The work you've been avoiding is one of the reasons you stay stuck. People say, man, tell me what to do. Most people's problem,
most people know
why they stay stuck, is not because they don't know what to do. Most people's problem, why they stay stuck, is because they don't do the work they know.
Yep.
Oh, snap. So.
Which is true.
We all know this.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time losing weight. Okay, I'm going to give you the formula. It's 2 steps. Ready? Eat less, move more. Did I say it too fast? That's 4 words, right? Okay, here we go. Eat less, do more. So I was gone on vacation for a month. I came back. I see Dr. Sam. He's like, well, that's his face. But he's a totally different dude from the neck down. Bro, what did you do? And he said he had this particular workout routine, and he eats 1 meal every 1 to 3 days. And no sugar. I was paying attention, wasn't I, Doc? Okay. And so I'm thinking about that. And I don't eat a lot of sugar, but I was eating sugar. I was eating some form of carbs every day, like some chips, a protein shake with almond milk and a banana and a whole bunch of fruit. I love fruit. I do love fruit. It has a lot of stuff in it that I love, not just the sugar. And so I decided yesterday, okay, I'm going to do a test. Let's go do a test. I'm not going to have any glucose spikes today. Now, if for those of you who don't know what that means, there's a book called The Glucose Revolution. And one of the things the woman in the book talks about is one of the things that causes, like, that has a major effect on mortality is how many glucose spikes you have in it every day, right? And it's not good for any, like, glucose spikes are pretty much not good for anything in your body, nothing. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna have no glucose. I said, I did a test. I've never done this before. I mean, I might have fasted before, but I'm talking about while eating. I'm not gonna have any glucose spikes today.
All right, guys. I think you get the gist of that video, right? I'm not like I said, we're not gonna go to watch the whole 47 minutes of it. That was just a quick snippet of the first two, right? And hopefully it resonated with you because honestly, it's true, right? In order to be stuck, you have to see what you're stuck at and then see what you're avoiding, right? And half the time we already know, but we're just not doing. And I can speak, right? That can speak volumes for me because there's certain things that I know that I should be doing and I've still lacked on it. And I know exactly what to do. And I'm pretty sure that can relate to you, right, Charles?
Yeah, 100%. And I'm trying to, attack those because I have a real fear. It's something, this resonated with me. That's why I was so quiet. Colin, you personally know, a certain obstacle in my life where, that made me feel stuck and, I might possibly be avoiding this. So that video definitely resonated with me. Mm-hmm. And I'll probably be looking at that video just personally after this.
Right. Yeah. So if you could go back to the two screen, Charles, unless you have something else to share.
Nope.
But guys, I hope this was a good business portion for you because we threw a lot of different things at you. Starting off with basically our goals and our joint journey that we have.
Dreams, aspirations.
Dreams, aspirations. And also our problems that we have to face before even, taking that first step towards the dreams and aspirations. And actually the journey to it is the dream and aspiration, right? My credit issue is part of the dream and aspiration because that once that is fixed, that's going to be such a huge lift off my shoulder. It's going to be a dream fix for me and it's going to move us even further. So it's the journey, right? And getting things fixed is part of the process and part of the journey. But we then moved on to stocks. We talked about stocks. No, actually, we talked about, the government shutdown, what that involves, and, how it's affecting America. Then we switched over to some stocks, how the government shutdown is affecting the stock market as well, and how it's been looking. Then Charles put us on Everything Money account on YouTube that you can go follow if you'd like, breaking down what stocks is and how to invest at a beginner level for sure and at a pro level, but it's definitely as a beginner to learn what the basics is and how to, learn and then invest. And then we touched on a little bit of networking, why networking is so important and the current connections that we're trying to make and the current connections that we actually currently have. And just expanding on that because we both know, me and Charles know that we have to get better at that. It's just so many sectors of business, guys, that you have to constantly just sharpen, your tools in. And then just ending with Myron Golden on, fixing the areas that you feel stuck on, which could be multiple, right? I have multiple that I have to face head on as a grown man. Charles has multiple as a grown man that he knows that, this can't be ignored, right? I have to face this head on in order to continue to improve my life. Because like he said, like Mr. Golden said, God, put us on here to thrive, to get better, right? We're not supposed to stay stagnant. We're supposed to continue to grow and get better. So and figuring out what you're stuck in and heading forward and fixing that is part of that journey, guys. So I hope you guys appreciate, this portion. Charles, what did you think about the whole, the whole hour plus that we've been on here?
It's always appreciative when we can be in here with the fans and everything, the
For
family and all that. Business is always one of those topics where we're just glowing and growing, bro. So, we hope to, bring like-minded people into the chat next time. But overall, this was great discussions, man. Every Wednesday, 6:00, we're going to try and get on here and talk about, business. This is the Business Talks. And then on Tuesday at 6:00 as well, Anime Walks.
Yeah. And guys, like the schedule will become larger once we get larger, right? And once you guys, once you guys want us to be here, we want to be here, guys, but we want to know that you want us to be here too. We're not going to stop just because, things aren't being as, I guess, the quantity may not be there, right? We're not going to stop because of that. We're, regardless if y'all want us to hear or not, we're not going to stop, right? But if we see like, hey, these guys are really, investing into Business Talks and Anime Walks and wants to build the community, guys, we're gonna go 1,001%, right? And 1,100%, because we're going 1,000 right now. But once we see that, yes, we know when to kick it up, and we're gonna want to kick it up for y'all. Because we want to build this community of Business Talks and Anime Walks where like-minded people who love anime and want to love business more, if not equally, just as much as their love for anime, guys. But we thank you guys, for just checking us out too. I really can't complain, bro. I just thank y'all for, just popping in.
Yep, I thank y'all too. I appreciate y'all. Another late night with our followers over on Twitch and on YouTube. Please make sure y'all like, subscribe,
for sure.
Follow the channels, please. But you have nothing else to say. My dog's barking, get my attention. This is your host, Charles. I am signing out. Thank you again, guys. Please return next Tuesday and Wednesday for more Business Talks and Anime Walks.
And I'll probably be on tomorrow, guys. So if you have anything that you'd like to talk about with your boy Coop, with your boy Colin, definitely put it in the chat. Definitely hit us up, like he said, like, share, subscribe, direct message us if need be, so I have something to go off of. And I hope to see y'all tomorrow. But this is your boy Colin signing out until tomorrow, guys. Take care.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Deuces.
Deuces, guys.